Welcome to Different Thought. Well, Kendrick made you think about it, but he is not your savior. Cole made you feel empowered, but he is not your savior. Future said get a money counter, but he is not your savior. Burn made you give him his flowers, but he is not your savior. He is not your savior. I feel like that needs that right there.
It definitely does. Definitely does.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Different Thought Podcast, where we examine the culture. I am your host, Mike Hayes, and this is my co-host,
Ricky.
Oh, Ricky. All right. And today we are joined by songwriter extraordinaire. I've known this cat for a few years now, and songwriter extraordinaire, outdoorsman, mental health advocate, brother Klark Kint. Brother, you introduce yourself. Let people know who you are, what you about.
Man, Klark Kint, born and raised out of Chattanooga. From East Lake Projects. Have to throw that in there. And man, just out here trying to be a good human being, man.
I heard that. So Klark, we're gonna keep this thing moving. We got a segment called Take a Shot for You, and in this segment, as I explained earlier, well, off camera and off air, it's basically where we take a shot for someone who has inspired you, someone you want to shout out, or like I told you earlier, somebody that just kind of, has driven you to drinking today.
Oh, wow.
With that being said, we'll give it over.
Pop it off with the shot.
We'll turn it over to Ricky.
Oh, yeah,
Ricky, we'll let you do the shot.
I gotta go first today, man.
Yeah, you go first.
I
You
go
always
first
go first
today, man.
Because y'all know I have to. Y'all give me.
I know.
I got to start thinking about what I will shoot to.
Mike is slow, y'all. No,
I'm on your page.
Today, I'm gonna take a shot. With this episode's gonna air 4th of July weekend, I believe. So today, I'm taking a shot to Juneteenth. And then if you know, you know.
Word.
And today, my man Nathaniel Nearest.
All right. Brother Klark, you want to go ahead and take your time?
I'm going to take a shot for... I'm going to take a shot for everything that we manifested and everything that we're going to receive that is here, but it hasn't aligned to us yet. But it's definitely here and it's going to happen. So we're going to take a shot for that.
All right, man. So what you drinking on?
Man, we're going to do what the Deuce say.
It's right there. I already poured it for you, brother.
He already got me together, so we're going to do the Deuce right here.
All right.
That's a real shot right there, brother.
Yeah, man. This guy I put some coke in there for you.
You put hair on the chest.
All right, man. I guess I'm going to take a shot, man, for... Whoo, man. It's a lot going on. Let me take a shot for just being here, man. I'm just happy to be here. Take a shot for my son. Today, I know this episode airs on July 4th, but today I got to spend some father-son time. Daycare was closed, so we went and saw Buzz Lightyear.
Dope.
Snap.
It was actually a good movie.
Was it?
Because what's crazy is like if you watched the Toy Stories as a kid, because I watched them as a kid,
do a good job
and now it's
wrapping all
like
that
full
stuff
circle. So there was parts in there I was like, oh, I remember that. So take a shot to M3 or Michael Hayes the third.
For sure.
And I'm drinking Douce as well, if I do say so myself, as usual. All right, now we're gonna go to our straight like that. So our straight like that.
Do we take the shot?
Yeah,
now?
go ahead, take your shot.
I didn't.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I didn't know we was doing it
I was gonna let you slide.
Okay.
Take your little swig, man.
Yeah,
Get
take
a little swig.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna do it together.
Oh no. It's just take it on.
Bet.
Take it on your own time, brother. So we're gonna get to our straight like that. Now, straight like that is a hot take. I want to say Sixers and 7. I mean not Sixers. Celtics and 7, but we all know the outcome of
Look,
that.
when you said
Man.
Celtics in 6, I was like, okay, Mike. I did say it was possible, but
It was
I
possible.
didn't believe it.
But anyways, it's a hot take. Get it off your chest, whatever you want to say. We'll start off with Brother Ricky again.
Well, my first one is you were wrong. You said Celtics in 6. I
was saying it as an example.
You had a lot of conviction, man. You can't take it back now.
Y'all know how I feel about
Yeah, we know
a
how
certain
you.
person.
Yeah, well, you need to get over that. You're gonna have to give this man his flowers.
Man, alright.
You was built.
You got
so
to
you
give
was
this
Boston.
man his flowers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a Lakers fan.
He just anti.
But I'm
he
a
just
bigger. I'm a bigger.
anti-Steph. That's
Yes,
all.
I am.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
anti-Steph.
He's anti-Steph
through.
for no good reason.
I'm
I was going for
anti-Warriors.
Boston, but I actually wanted to see Steph get added to that new championship
Man,
count because
fuck
that
him,
dude
dog.
is.
and that whole team. They come from. Did you see the little layout they did where everybody on the team came from somebody that played in the league?
Yeah,
Oh, like, man,
I
please.
did. I did.
Okay, you right, Justin. I mean, Ricky, go, get your straight like that out.
Come on,
Ricky.
man.
Ricky!
And then my straight like that. My straight like that is going to tie back into my shot. So I want everybody to be clear. The 4th of July is a wonderful holiday, and it signifies American independence, which is cool and all. But American independence happened in 1776 on the 4th of July, whereas for people who look like me, it didn't really happen until Juneteenth time. So I want everybody to be clear. I think every black and brown person celebrates the 4th of July and understands its significance, but at the end of the day, everybody didn't receive the same rights at the same time, and particularly not in 1776. So that's why my take a shot is important. It is important for everybody to understand and listen to it.
Bet. Brother Clark.
So, man.
What's your straight like that, brother?
Straight like that, and it has to be
Whatever you want, man. Just whatever you want. It's your time.
straight like that, man. Honestly, I guess we could say I enjoy seeing where Chattanooga can potentially go, even though we have a long way to go. We've had a lot of things happen here, all over the world, but I'm excited to see where Chattanooga is about to go within this next at least year or a couple of years. And for everybody that's from here, man, I mean, all we can do is just try to find something, positive about what's going on around here, man. So my straight like that is shout out to everybody from chat that actually have weathered the storm and still weathering different storms and obstacles right now, man. So my straight like that is that.
My straight like that is, man. Jason Tatum, dog.
Oh yeah, let's get into it.
So I didn't get to watch them. I watched
That
the first
man
half.
didn't show up for now one of them games.
I
He
agree.
did.
Now one of them games.
Especially the last
Especially the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my straight like that. Come on, Jason.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And then I got a second straight like that. I mean, I know it'll be well afterwards, but y'all know what I think. Those who listen to me know what I think about. What I think about Drake.
Oh, did he drop out?
Honestly, never mind. I've gotten through half of it. Straight trash, bro. Straight trash.
That's a bold thing.
I'm sorry. I got to Sticky and it was like, okay, maybe it's about to pick up. But coming in here, I was just like, bruh, are we now an R&B singer? Like, I get the thought mind process. He dropped Loverboy, and then 9 months later he drops Honestly Never Mind. So I kind of get what he's trying to do, and the songs are kind of tied towards,
I'm trying to tell a story.
Yeah, but at the same point in time, and then he kind of fouled. He did drop it on Kendrick's birthday, so I don't know if he did that on purpose.
I mean, probably.
I don't know what they got going on.
Because he know it's not gonna be no Mr. Moore around the big stepper though.
But first 7 songs, 14 songs on it. First 7, they ain't for me.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage. I mean,
For Mike.
For me.
Okay.
I mean, I never looked at Drake as a singer, bro.
We
Spoiler
know.
alert.
We know.
So he's singing on all of them.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Because he average.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. So that's my trade like that.
Drake is average.
Yes, bro. But
According
once
to Mike.
again,
I didn't say that, y'all.
once
Mike said
again, let's remember, average does not mean that it's not a good thing to be average. If you are just above the norm on every category, you're great. And that's what I think Drake is.
Mike said Drake is a really good lunch lady.
Wow.
I did not say that.
That's what he said.
I did not.
He the lunch lady of the music industry.
I can
That's
so
what
see.
Drake
I can
said.
so see Kyle in here. That's gonna be the clip. And then once again, it's gonna be, nah, bro. Come on, bro.
Come on, dog.
Come on, man. Nah, man. Say, nah, man. And then I'm gonna get a bunch of DMs.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna get a bunch of DMs. So Shuby, by the way. Yeah, so Shuby. I'm gonna get a bunch of DMs like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know real music. All right, bro. Come see me, then. Not really, though, because I'm not about that life. Moving on, man. So, Brother Klark, man, let's get into you, man. So, now I've been listening. I've been a fan of yours since Glamour back
that's
in.
crazy.
Man, when was that? When was that? When did it come out? I say,
man, don't get me into the years, man. It's been a couple of years, man.
Yeah. So
For sure.
For those of you who do not know, Glamour was a group that Brother Klark was in with Mike, and who else was it? Was it Mike and
My brother Tony.
Tony? Yeah, Mike and Tony.
Shout out to Mike and Tony, man.
pretty dope music. Gave you the mindset of like I would say a Cass meets
Wow.
Nah,
That's huge.
Yeah, it was
Coming from you.
Yeah, it was
what you say about Drake. That means a lot.
It was a cat. I remember the song y'all did with Yellow Wolf. That was pretty dope.
The Cutlass joint.
The Cutlass joint, and that it was. I kind of like a. I'm trying to think what it mashed up with because it gave you that Cass vibe, but it was. I would say. And don't take this the wrong way, Klark. I would say Cass and Drake before Drake.
Okay.
So
I can deal.
But yeah, man.
I don't know. You don't like Drake, but
I mean, don't get it twisted. I do like Drake. I do like Drake.
I was just.
I like Drake, but
I
I just don't understand like this hype that we give Drake versus some other cold. To me, I guess where I'm at with Drake is I'm confused. Like, are you just an artist? Are you a rapper? Or are you a singer? Are you just all of them? And there's you trying to be LeBron James.
I heard this conversation.
That's why
he's
the lunch lady. He can serve up any dish, man.
Okay,
I hear this conversation a lot, and I'm staying away from it. But I definitely understand your perspective.
Yeah.
Musically, that dude taps into a lot of different, in my opinion, he taps into a lot of different sounds and genres.
Yeah.
And I kind of do that, but people that are hip hop heads, they do not like to hear rappers sing. And then people who like singing don't like to hear singers really rap. So it's always kind of like a battle with that a little bit.
And for me, I grew up with Nelly. I mean,
okay, yeah, you grew up with Nelly.
So Nelly.
Well, you grew up with Bone Thugs
too. So I'm not opposed to it, but it be sometimes it's like, look, bro, I just want to hear hot fire. That's all I want to hear is bars, and I just don't get it from it, man. And
I grew up busting rhymes, man. So that's just.
I mean, I
like that sound.
Okay.
I am so hot here. But nah, man. So you Glamour like I said, and then personally, kind of. I know you've been working with other people and other artists, but so what made you? I know you got some stuff coming out here soon. So why now? I guess is what I was getting at.
Honestly, bro. I don't want to get too. People say I always have a long answer when I say stuff. I'm trying to steer away from that.
Good.
I just why now? I didn't plan it to be this way. It's one of those things to where I've been working at something, and I know they have the saying, the 10,000 hour thing. Some people believe in it, some people don't. I always think there's middle ground in certain things, but I think I've been working at this for a while, and when you meet the right people that can actually, I've met people along the way that have helped in different aspects, but now it's like the right people have come along to help put it, that just blow it out of here. So it's either I just say, nah, I don't want to do it when they ready to pass me the ball and they ready for me to shoot a three, or I just go and just hide and be like, yeah, I can do it a little bit. I can kind of Draymond it and just be aggressive and just disruptive about it. Okay. Or I can be Steph Curry and try to shoot from half point. And I'm trying to shoot from half court right now. Okay. So now it's like I've been playing the game, but I have to kind of perfect the three right now because now the team has come along and they like, hey, the right people like, hey, you dope. Let's see what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that right now.
I got you.
And it's my dream. I mean, it ain't really about the money. It's just I love music. Music is everything for me. Different feelings, emotion. I just love the whole.
So to just add on to that, what's driving you now? Like, versus what was driving you back when you started things like Glamour Like and things of that nature. What's driving you? What's driving Klark Kint to come out with this new music, and what's driving you?
Back then with Glamour Like, my brother was always the music head in the house. So I watched him do music through high school. I didn't do music through school. I was a sports person. I ended up singing after school, and my mom was the choir director. So I sung the choir director song, Christmas song in the shower. My mama heard me and she made me sing it for the church. That's how that happened. Okay. And then my brother, he was in the shower. She heard me in the shower. Mama
kissing Santa Claus, man.
She heard me singing, and she was like, "You need to do that part." And I was making fun of the dude that was singing it because I was like, "Man, this dude don't sound right." Me not ever singing in life, right. And then she made me do it. So anyway, long story short, she kind of inspired it with that, and then my brother was like, okay, let's do a group. I hit Mike Murder up, and Murder came along, then Glamour Like got formed, and then we had our run. Now it's like, I've always kind of been I guess you could say the singer in that group. Everyone sings in the group, but I was kind of more of the person on most of the hooks. So it was like, I used to let people hear it. I used to let people hear my little stuff I'm working on, and then, females would be like, "Oh yeah, you sound good," and then some of the homies like, "Bro, you dope." So it's like now I got to take it serious instead of kind of play with it because I need to give it a shot. And I think the algorithms of how the world is right now, I think is another form of healing. Okay. So it's like, am I going to use my talent to bring that form of healing, or I'm just going to not use it and just not see where it can go?
Cool. So what's the name of the new project?
So there's not a name for say. Right now, what we're doing is gathering a bunch of singles, and we're gathering different sounds. You want your mid-tempo, you want your low-tempo, you want your high-tempo. And better terms, you want a sex track for the grown and sexy. You want you want a club track you can go turn up on. Then you want some real stuff. Okay. So right now, what feels good is kind of more of the real track. I have a track right now that gave me a reaction that I've never had before in my life. It was an instrumental sent to me. And that track it almost made me break down. Because sometimes your art form, you get the words and you lights, camera, action, and you become who you are. Right. And you're good at what you do. Right. That track came and it just spoke to me. And sometimes, you get the words coming from a whole nother source. And those words to that song came with another source. And that's because I'm talking about my dad, who was a janitor at a private school. And then I kind of went into my mom, who was doing house nanny work on Lookout Mountain. And I was a kid in the projects, but I was able to go to a private school because my dad was the janitor at the private school. So that track actually brought out that, and that's what I'm really thinking of. We're thinking about dropping first.
Okay. Name? Got a name for it?
You know what, bro? Sometimes I do the name at the end of the song.
Gotcha.
I don't know. Sometimes you don't know what the title is. Sometimes.
Amen.
The words are kind of like. The words are like. I just hope that you're proud of me, and I hope that you ride with me. If you don't, and I don't give a fuck. I don't mean that respectfully, 'cause these haters be doubting me. Sometimes I even doubted me. Everybody is human, hell yeah, we got problems. Name me one person that don't dare lie. I remember them days of my mama slaving hard up in the kitchen, and my daddy working 3 jobs to hustle and pay the bills, school tuition. Yeah, daddy had to clean them floors, mama had to fold them clothes, did what they had to do, but they was poor. Now we ain't gotta do this shit no more. You don't know. You don't know, yeah, all the pain I felt, all the cards that was dealt, it was quiet as kept, yeah. Listen, I done had enough, now it's time to run it up. Champagne in my cup, yeah, now it's up and it's stuck, yeah. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, the words are kind of just more, I guess you could say kind of, nobody's ever heard me like this.
Okay.
Everybody's kind of used to me singing R&B, bedroom, club, stripper song. This is kind of more
Not the stripper song.
You know what I'm saying? You got to when you sing, you gotta have that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So I mean, ask you this.
This is completely new Klark
not the
that
stripper
nobody has
song.
ever
Do
heard
you feel
before.
pressure to try to make songs that are fit what's going on right now, or do you just stay in your own lane, or do you just do what feels good? Like, what's your thought process right now?
Good question. I'm not pressured to do songs of what's going on right now anymore. I used to be that way. I used to feel like I had to make something that everyone would get and relate to so much to be accepted.
Yeah.
But honestly, what I learned was that was slick. That was me being myself, but it was also me trying to please people.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of artists say this, and I get it more than ever now. That what I just did, I'm so passionate about that song I'm about to do.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people aren't gonna like that I'm not singy.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people are gonna not like my language.
Right.
I know some people aren't gonna like maybe how aggressive it might come off. Mm-hmm. But what I do know is
it's real.
We're doing a programming with kids, and I know we haven't got into that. Yeah. But programming with kids, I've seen kids who have watched their dad maybe brain get blowed out. And I hate to go dark, but I'm with inner city kids that have horror stories. Mm-hmm. So when I think of them, I say, bro, they want Mr. Klark to be real.
Right.
They want real us. And I'm not saying we can always show them everything.
Right.
But they want a real version of you.
Well, I mean, that's one thing for me is, one thing I'm been around music all my life, and we're not going to go into all that background. But for me, it's, one thing that was always said is people are always going to listen to something that's real.
Yes.
And if it's not coming from the heart, it's not real, then
right.
It's you just trying to sound like everybody. But
right.
I'm glad you said that because you gave me a perfect segue. You got some initiatives out here now. We got reconnected through my wife at Dalewood Middle.
Shout out to Miss Hayes, man. Miss Hayes is so cool, bro.
And she always ends up.
She walked around with J's on. Like, she had the J's on. The kids. You know what? The kids loved her because. I hate to cut you off.
Oh, no, you good.
A lot of principals don't understand that you need to be able to be who you are and relate to kids. Yeah. And the fact that she was fly and she had on her J's, like, them kids, like, rock. Because, kids will tear you up. Right. When you go in there with some one of those, they're going to talk about that all day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I went in there looking outdoor, they're like, bro, what is this? Why you ain't got no J's? But I'm like, listen, these boots actually cost more than Jay's.
Right.
And when you educate our people
yeah.
on that, then they understand what that is. But anyway, yeah.
Nah,
Miss Hayes was in with Jay's on and everything.
Yeah, Ariel. When I told her we were interviewing you, she's like, man, I remember when Klark and what's the gentleman? Brian, and they came in and they first introduced when she was at Woodmore, and they were like, we want to do this program after school for kids and introduce them to outdoors as a means of coping and mental stuff. And she was like, when they came and they had that idea, it was like, it's a great idea, but let's go work on some things. And she said they came back the next year and had and everything was done, and she was like, how can I not give them a shot? So she wanted me to make sure I told you that, like, she wanted me to make sure I told you thank you for actually listening to her, taking her words, because it actually became a great program. And the program I'm speaking on is Bridge. I'll let you speak on Bridge a little more.
Okay. First of all, shout out to Miss Hayes for that, because I just thought about that when we came to her. I think she was at Orchard Knob or Woodmore.
Excuse me, I said Woodmore. Orchard Knob. She was at
it
Orchard
was
Knob.
one of them.
She was at Orchard Knob.
And because I know we just had the meeting, and she was like, we wanted to do it for the summer. She was like, I think you need to maybe tighten this, da-da-da-da. And we listened to her, because we had a lot of people telling us, man, you ain't gonna be able to take no kids outdoors and take them hiking. She actually gave us advice.
Yeah.
And it was productive. So we went back, redid some things, but Ryan, you're talking about a white male with a beard and blue eyes, and I performed at Causeway Challenge. I think our mayor was Andy Burke at the time, and I think Bird and Harlan and them had like this team. They put together that block party, and I performed and did 3 songs. I did a rock song, I did an R&B song, I did an Usher song, and then I did my personal song. And the first thing I said was, music has no color. And it was all white and black people down there. After I performed, white guy walked up to me, and he was like, hey, man, I think you would be dope and great for a new idea that I've been working on. And I was like, what is it? And he was like, man, I want to try to let's just meet. Me being an artist, being able to collab through music, I can always collab professionally.
Yeah.
So we met every day, and I'm not going to tell the long story of this, but met Ryan. 2 years later, we got an opportunity to start a program with one of the biggest nonprofits in this city. And we did it 3 months. They wanted to see if it worked. We did it 3 months at Delwood, and at that time, we didn't even know Miss Hayes moved over there.
Yeah.
You see how alignment went? So we didn't even know Miss Hayes was going to be there.
Yeah.
So we get there, and then 3 months, they liked it. The kids liked it. The parents liked it. The school liked it. Okay. They said, well, you can do a year. So they gave us a year. And we celebrated the day before we were supposed to start program. Ryan took his life. And I got left with the program. And me and Sarah, and we brought someone else along, and we had to step back for a minute and try to regather, but I never really regathered. I just really was numbing, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up having a program go on. That program still exists at Delwood with First Cumberland Church.
Well, the thing I liked about the program is when that happened, that tragic event happened, you guys made sure that the kids had some type of outlet to kind of discuss what was going on, because Ariel was telling me how everybody kind of bonded on doing this, and you guys didn't just use, you use music, but you also use the great outdoors, and that is something I kind of wanted to get more into, because I watched a little bit of It's Bigger Than Me, and one of the key phrases that made me want to reach out, and this all started by a DM, by the way. People don't know. For people who don't know, this whole interview started with a DM.
Yeah.
But when I saw this, I saw you say, when you're trying to take people out into the outdoors, you said, a lot of black people tell you, well, that's for white folks.
Yep.
And so, so it's funny to me, because this is also kind of my different thought. We also talk about a lot of times us as a black community talk about how things, this is black, and me and Justin have talked about, or Ricky talked about selective blackness and things of that nature. And it's funny to me, especially in this category, if outdoors and I'll throw in agriculture and farming, is we were the ones building the farm. We were the ones in the outdoors that started it off. And it's funny how now the position has shifted to where we don't want to go outside, and it's very interesting to me. Like, I'm not an outdoorsy guy. I'm not gonna say I am, but I at least tried it. I mean, the school that I went to forced me to try it. But and I know that through those experiences, I had a different perspective on certain things. It gave me exposure to things. But I wanted to kind of talk about that, and how. I know you got Humans Outdoors. I want you to talk about that as well. And I wanted to talk about, like, how do we start to change that narrative, and what are some of the things that you're seeing that are you seeing that narrative being changed through your work and things of that nature. So I'll let you, first of all, let's talk about Human Outdoors. You want to give a little background on that?
I want to jump in.
Yeah.
Let me jump in real quick. So just to add to, like, I think a little bit of the why, to kind of kick him off a little bit. I think a lot of it has to do with, black people had to migrate into urban areas, because if you in the country and you black, you brown, you getting pushed out real quick because the other people out there don't want you there. Well, so when you force people into spaces and red lines and all of that other stuff that causes that, your upbringing doesn't have you in the space to be outdoors. Like for me growing up, I was in the space to be outdoors. So when you walk outside, you in the woods.
Right.
And it feels natural to you, whereas a lot of our folks are normally concentrated in city centers. When you walk outside, you see concrete. So it's not going to feel natural to you to go out into the woods or go out into those spaces.
Well, and just to add to that, my grandmother's side of the family grew up in New Bern, Alabama. And every time I go visit New Bern, Alabama, I think that I used to think that I'm about to go, and it's about to be white hoods and all that stuff. But in all actuality,
right,
that country is that particular area is majority black.
Yeah,
and so so that's always mind blowing to me, because yes, we are forced into urban areas. I think some of that is because of like when you think about Juneteenth, and I forget what they called that day, is basically when they announced to everyone in Galveston, Texas, that you're free. A lot of people were like, all right, let's get all our stuff and go.
Get up out of here.
Let's get out of here as fast as possible. So we didn't want to come back. And I think that has something to do with it too. But, Clark, and your story is so interesting to me, is because, like you said, you grew up in Eastdale. You grew up in the projects. You grew up, your family, your mother and your father were hard workers. And you still found a way. You still do a lot of, from the outside looking in, forgive me if you will, you do a lot of the stereotypical things, like you do music, you're an entertainer, but you still found a way to find peace and solitude in outdoors. So I kind of wanted to hear more about your story on that part.
Like you said, it's being in East Lake Projects. I was outside all the time. I was always a kid outside. Stayed outside all day. Of course, they had wooded areas behind the projects, but not a lot of outdoor wildlife. So I was the child that, my mom told me not to go, but telling a little kid not to go, like, and they just full of energy, just telling them to go. So I went with my little crew I was with, and we explored in the woods. Then my brother, we found a movie called Gleaming the Q. Skateboard movie with Tony Hawk in the 80s. Man, we built a skateboard ramp in the projects.
Really?
Yes. We put a little ramp in the middle of the sidewalk in the projects. We skated down the hill trying to power slide and do all that stuff. Because we saw that movie and we was inspired by it.
Man, Johnny Tsunami got me. That was the one for me, man.
Yeah.
That inspired me to snowboard.
Yeah. That's dope.
I still don't try that.
I've never done it before, but I definitely
I just don't like cold weather.
It's not for you.
I heard it can be.
Forget the cold. The other part's not for you, man.
It's full body workout.
Yeah, the athletic aspect of it.
Hold on now, wait a minute,
That
brother.
ain't for you.
I'm an athlete.
You're too clumsy, man.
No, I'm not, brother. No, I'm not. Don't play me now. Watch your mouth now.
I'm gonna get Mike on the slope one day.
You being
and he
real
gonna blame the whole thing on me
disrespectful
when
right
he
now.
blow out both his ACLs.
No,
man.
nah, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen, Captain.
Anyway,
Oh,
continue,
man.
sir.
No, I
you
mean,
right
yeah,
now.
it was. We built a ramp in the prizes. We skateboarded in the prizes, and we were already the kids that everybody was like, "What they doing?"
Yeah.
We skateboarding up a ramp. So all the older women and men, they try to go to work, go to church. They're like, "Why they got a ramp in the middle of the sidewalk?" We moved it and we set it back up. Anyway, long story short, I've always been kind of, I guess you could say, exposed to something different from watching things. So that led me into, going into the private school. I said my dad was a janitor to his twin brother. Shout out to them. They actually held me down at that school. And I was a little ratchet in that private school. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, what I mean by that is my dad, man, he had a little office in there downstairs. I used to get haircuts in the middle of school. Like, when we had
that's part of the black
programs and we had,
experience, though.
bro.
Because I literally, my cousin's uncle, this is a side note.
Yeah,
my cousin's uncle, he worked at the airport. And I think he was like a mechanic or something at the airport.
Yeah.
Literally got my haircut one day next to like a jet taking off or something. They was like, yeah, he's still at work. You got to go over
you
there.
See what I'm saying?
It's like, I think that's part of the experience. You have to get your haircut at somebody's job.
Bro.
think.
I don't think I've had that experience.
Give me your black card then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to give it up.
Bro, it was a little. They can call it ghetto.
Give
They
it
can
up.
call it.
I don't know
rap.
what it is. I feel like everybody has had it happen.
Bro,
No,
listen.
That's a-
you
that's
know
a-
what?
that's
I
a
tried-
thing.
I think my dad did, cause my dad cut my hair.
Come get
Ooh,
you.
my dad used to cut my hair
And how you looking?
awful, bro.
Oh,
I told that man I wanted a part.
Oh, my uncle's cold though. So.
I told him I wanted a part, bro. That part was about the thick
Big.
as my it was thick as my I was like, man, you got me out here looking like Stephon Marbury.
He gave you that Mike Tyson.
Man, dog.
yeah.
So I think he did do one time. My dad.
Come on, let's
But to add to you, it's funny that you kind of gravitate.
Don't nobody think I really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said, we would have, like, it'll be a game day. I played every sport because I got a scholarship to
Right.
Notre Dame from there. But game day, program day, field trip day, my cousin Joe, shout out to Joe Blair, he would come to my dad's office. I would be in the middle of class. I would probably just go to the restroom and my dad would be like, I don't know why them teachers let me do that. It was kind of weird now that I think about it. I would go downstairs, get a fresh ball fade with a part in it, and go right back to class. That's one story. Second story that my brother them and people laugh at. This is even worse, but I got to tell y'all this on this podcast. Lunchtime, my dad used to go get me like little special stuff because my dad was at the school.
Yeah.
He used to go get me like little fast food. All the kids were like, dang, you got fast food. Bro, I would never forget the teachers in the locker room. It was after Thanksgiving. I brought some chitlins
Oh Lord.
for lunch because it was leftover food.
Oh.
I brought them chitlins to
Did
lunch.
you heat them chunks up?
I heated them things.
Oh,
up.
they're like,
Oh, God.
Oh God. Wait a minute.
Listen.
Wait a minute.
Listen.
Wait a minute.
Listen.
Wait a minute.
God.
You gonna eat
Hey,
that?
let me
Wait a
tell
minute.
you.
Are you sure?
Bro, I was a child, you know. My
ain't
mama
know them
shouldn't
yet.
have let me bring them shitless to that school.
Yeah,
Bro,
that's
I
your mom's
warmed it
fault.
up when it sat in my seat. I'm kicking it. We smell it over the whole lunchroom.
Ooh,
Them
whoa.
teachers standing up, all of them left out the lunchroom. They pulled me to the side and said, Clark, can you please try not to, bring those again? And, they kind of...
Ever.
Bro. Yeah.
Don't you
man.
ever.
It's real,
when
y'all.
It's like when George brought that old sandwich to work there
Oh
one
my
day.
gosh, I forgot about that.
It's a whole other work
You see what I'm
story.
saying?
Yeah, it's
So yeah, man, those experiences, that kind of shaped and molded me, man. And I've always been that child that had to learn how to adjust to my environment at an early age.
It's funny because you and I come from two different backgrounds. So I grew up in the suburbs, of course. And Mike grew up in the suburbs.
In the
So,
suburbs.
But
Listen to John Mayer.
No, I wasn't listening to John Mayer. But I was exposed to a lot of different
things because you went and got into it.
But yeah, man, like
Yeah.
I used to play. People don't know this, but I used to play street hockey.
Oh wow,
shoot.
that's
People don't know that.
aggressive.
People don't.
'Cause you don't
I
tell nobody.
skateboarded.
That's
I
aggressive.
played street hockey. I skateboarded.
You don't tell nobody. Mike too hard to be telling his story.
The only thing I would.
You
would.
get yeah.
The only thing I was like, I refused to do was the motorcycle, dirt bike and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the neighborhood I grew up in, all the kids was playing street hockey,
Rugby type of
rollerblade and all that stuff. So that's how I got exposed to that, and that's why that's when I created my different thought, pun intended. And so it's interesting because we all come from these different walks, and we all kind of ended up at the same intersections in certain points.
So going into, I know I didn't answer the question.
Yeah, well, humans.
We're gonna fast forward. Bridge is a program that's at Dalewood still, and Sarah and Kayla Stewart and them, Morgan and them, they're still running that program, First Cumberland. It was time for me to grow outside of that because the way that it started, Ryan and I wanted to do this all over the world.
Okay.
So we were at Dalewood, which was fortunate because a lot of people don't get that opportunity. Right. So I'm thankful for Dalewood, First Cumberland, and everybody that was a part of that because I wouldn't be where I am now without that experience.
Right.
But I knew that I had principals at different schools. I ain't gonna say names, but they was like, Clark, we want to do it here. We want to do it here. We want to do it here. I prayed. COVID happened. I didn't know what to do. I said, you know what? I need to expand because me and my brother Ryan really wanted that. So I meditated, woke up. I said, humans, outdoors. I need something international, and I need something that means something. I said humans, and I want to spell it HUEMANS.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
And that came to me from my dream, bro.
Okay.
And I just was like, wow, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
It started there.
Right.
Because I was like, I want all human beings to be able to relate to the idea of we need to get outdoors, no matter what color of the crayon that you are. I'm not going to get into the politics of that, but all of us, and when I said it, it meant something. And me and my partner, we just drew up a little logo. She made a site for it, and the movie we shot during COVID that came out. We debuted it at the Nature Center, and they enjoyed the documentary movie. Then I spoke with Summer, and we talked about representation on Get Out magazine. They've never had black representation on Get Out magazine, and they allowed me to be representation on that magazine front cover. And I wanted that for our kids in the community to see that there is someone black in the outdoors.
Right.
Kids in the Dalewood, Eastdale, all them, they knew me because I've been there 3 years taking them outdoors.
Right.
But we need that representation. So they said reclaiming the wilderness on the magazine. Right. So that was pretty cool. And that's kind of where I went here. So now we're doing trips. We're still looking for funding. We're still looking like any other program. And we're still trying to get transportation and all that other stuff to work on that.
So are you still taking inner city kids, or are you just taking anybody that wants to be involved with it? Or what's the focal point there?
I partnered with Jean Lamino, which I call her, shout out to Jean, the godmother of forest schools. She started all the forest schools in this area, and she started schools in Africa, and she's a white woman that's like, I don't want to say her age, so I ain't going to do that to Jean. But she's an older woman, and she started the forest school at the Nature Center, Wahatchee schools, all of that. And I partnered with her, so I work with her kids. And now I've partnered with the Boys and Girls Club. The zoo has called, and I'm trying to do other things according to how often people want to get kids outdoors and how much we can afford to do. Okay. So that's kind of, like you said, it's not just inner city, but that's been my focal point. But I want to get kids from everywhere outdoors more, because I found out that our people don't have that. But there's some kids out in Saudi who grew up in Saudi in the woods who don't even know therapy and outdoors. They just know it's out there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Man, that's really dope. One thing I've always said is like, for me, growing up, when I watched some of my friends that I grew up with, and we got some of the same friends, the biggest difference is, you know, in the head space is not money. It just comes down to experiences, exposure. So I think that's a great initiative. And that's kind of we're gonna have to talk afterwards, but that's something I've been wanting to do is expose kids to other things outside of their norms.
Dope.
And in a way to grow our community. So well, man, with that, man, I'm glad to have you on the show. Ricky.
Ice train.
You got anything, man?
Nah, man, it was a dope conversation. It is very enlightening. I mean, we literally went from being talking about bad about Drake to talking about a up and coming musician that is kind of like Drake but not like Drake, but then is like Drake because he's making stripper tracks, and then taking it all the way down to like being in the woods.
Being in the woods, bro.
It's like, I mean, we like I feel like we went full circle on this. So it was a great conversation, and just appreciate your time, man, because I feel like you're gonna be like really, really busy in the not so distant future. So don't forget about us. When you make it there, just be like, hey, man, I started on this one little podcast show that was just in the back of this Wavelength studio, man. Shout out to the producer back there.
Wavelength and Trey and Wayne.
This man,
they definitely doing their thing,
killing
man.
it over here.
Yeah.
So
Trust me, they doing their thing.
So yeah, it's just good to see everything growing. And like you, I'm excited to see the growth of Chattanooga, having been here, I guess 15, 16 years, I guess at this point, and just watching it change. And I know it's been even more extreme for you growing up here, and both of y'all growing up here. So it's just like, man, I'm just excited to see what the future holds. And I'm trying to weather the storm just like you.
I gotta get out more, man. After leaving and going to school somewhere else and coming back, it's like when people start talking about what's going on in chat, I'd be like, they doing what?
Right.
Where they doing that at?
Yeah,
So,
man.
because I would have never thought they would do that.
But you always say you got a 4-year-old, so you can't get out.
This is also true.
Mike had a 4-year-old since before he had a 4-year-old.
I did, bro.
Yeah.
I did. I had a wife. That's what I had before that.
Yeah.
But nah, man. So we're gonna get into our before you eat. And so Clark, basically before you eat, where it came from. So when I was growing up, my mother used to have, when we came to the dinner table, she used to make us come. Me and my sister and I, we had to come in with a Black History fact before we ate. And so every time, and it couldn't be some simple stuff. And I grew up a little before the internets. So I had the Encyclopedia Britannica was my best friend and all that good stuff. But it also signifies the end of the show because before you eat, the acronym is bye. So it's a little double entendre, I guess, if you will.
Okay.
So today's before you
writing
eat.
tip, man.
Today's before you
Don't
eat.
do that to him, man. Don't.
I am a writer.
Make
bro.
a writer.
I'm a poet,
rap
bro.
or write for somebody.
I have to deal with
spoken
the
word or
aftermath.
something. Oh, my bad, man.
He's a hater.
I have to
He's a
deal
hater.
with what
dog.
comes after that.
If you have hate in your heart, let it out. Hate.
See,
Let me take
pump it up. Just
let me take a sip
head
of my
just-
cup. Let me take a sip of my drink that you
Take
probably spit him.
Y'all silly, man.
So today's before you eat Black History moment, we want to talk about the first all-black Mount Everest expedition team, Full Circle Everest. On May 12th of this year, an entourage of 7 reached the summit of the highest mountain on Earth. The 7 climbers who reached the summit included, I'm not going to try to pronounce this man's name.
Yeah,
I'm going to spell it.
I've seen it.
Manoahainuuu.
Yeah.
Eddie Taylor, Rosemary Sal, Damon Dom Mullins, Thomas Moore, James K.G., and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, Kagami, and Evan Green. The team was led by Philip Henderson, who assembled the team with the intent to showcase black athletes removing barriers that kept them from outdoor sports, and to inspire the next generation, kind of like what Brother Klark has been doing.
Wow.
According to the team, the success nearly doubles the number of black climbers who have climbed the mountain, which stands more than 29,000 feet high. So as always, as I tell you guys, go out there and do more research on the name of the team was Full Circle Everest. Go look them up. May 12th, which is not that far away from where we are now. So, and as always, man, think, do, be different. Thank you for listening to Different Thought Podcast.